The first thing that I do when I make a value scale is that I want to establish the greatest light and the greatest dark within that value scale. So I've taken a 9 by 12 drawing paper. I think it's 108 pounds, but I think it would be better if you had a drawing paper that was 65 pounds and not as hard pressed. It should be absorbent. In this case, it's hard pressed, hot press, and it's working kind of awkwardly. But what I'm doing is I'm making this particular half of the paper black and the other half white because I want to see the big contrast as dark as I can go on one side, and of course as light as I can go as the paper is white. And then I paint it out, smooth out my brush strokes so I can see little value changes within the paper, and then I take my dryer and I dry it. And if it doesn't turn out dark enough, then you can paint again until you get it really black. So once I've done that, now I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut it out of the tablet and then separate it so that I can do the value that's going to be in between the white and the black. So if you put your black on your right and the white on the left, and the space between should be equal, that's where you want your middle value to go. Now middle value, you have to be a judge here, and a visual judge, to see exactly how dark that middle value should be. Right now in those three it works well, but I have to have another value between that in white and the middle value in black. So I'm sort of guessing to see that this is about as much black and white mixed together that would make that particular value. Now I dry it so I can see exactly what the value looks like. That is the middle value that I've just dried, and this is the light middle value. So I have to have a contrast between the white and this value that's over to the left, and also a contrast of this value being lighter to the middle value to my right. Now how much of a contrast? I think it should be as great a contrast as you can get without doing a gradation. These are all flat values. I know I could do it easily if it was a gradation, but that's not what we're after. We're after just simple sheets of paper that will be painted in these 5 values. Now that looks good to me, white, light middle, and middle value, and then I'll dry it again. You can see it gets lighter when you dry it, so you should do that before you cut it out. And then I'm going to cut it out so I can separate these pieces from each other. And now what I want to do is I want to make another value on the other side of this value. This is the middle value, remember. I'm going to cut off the edges so that I don't see that white at all. And now I'm placed the middle value down, and then I leave a space between the middle value and the black, and I'm making a middle dark value. You just put the color on, keep going down, keep a wet edge as you go. Try to keep it constant as far as water and color. Now of course that matches the middle value, and I don't want it to match the middle value, so I'm going back over it and I will have it now a middle dark value. And I even out my brush stroke so I don't see a lot of value changes inside. And now I notice that my black should be blacker, should be darker. It could pass, but I want it darker, so I'm going to go ahead and then paint that again. Now, this adjustment you can make throughout the process. After you get all done and you lay all your values from white to black side by side, you might find that two values side by side are too close together. And so you adjust it by painting over that value so that you have the proper sequence of 5 values. Now this is what I'm doing. With this middle dark value, I thought that should really be a little bit darker. Now I'm going to dry them up. And these are the values that I have. And you notice that middle value has got to be slightly lighter in order to be completed.